are a freshwater fish.
Well, it looks like American eel.
And either breathes through its neck or through its cheeks.
And some people even mistake them for a snake.
Oh, super slimy and super smooth.
Grow to be about 3 feet long.
Usually they're pretty orange, but they can be speckled and albino. They don't have hands. That's the big difference between our natives and non-natives.
I can get out of it completely.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
There are many types of non-native plants and animals that find their way into an environment, sometimes coexisting and sometimes becoming invasive threats.
The most commonly encountered species that we have introduced in Florida was found in the Tampa area as early as 1997 is Monopterus albus. It's an Asian swamp eel. They were also discovered down in the Everglades region near Homestead. They've expanded into the Everglades and the water conservation areas. And 2 years ago, they were discovered in the Winter Park chain of lakes in Orlando. Interestingly enough, they were identified in a picture of a heron eating a eel-like creature on iNaturalist, and a biologist saw that, thought it was something interesting, and they went and investigated and found a population of adults and young Asian swamp eels in a lake in Winter Park.
Asian swamp eels are harmful to Florida's ecology. They are attacking our native invertebrates. They eat what starts at the bottom of the food web and have a huge impact on wading birds and larger fish. They were originally introduced from the food trade. Fish markets often sell live Asian swamp eels, but unfortunately, some folks end up letting them go when they're still alive.
These elusive eels, with their muted colors, camouflage themselves in the freshwater rock. Swamp eels are quick and will burrow into the shoreline, making capture difficult.
Thus far, we have not been overly successful in developing traps, but that is something we're working on. Right now, we actively electrofish to collect them. And over the past year, we've learned the habitats where we can find them. So we're getting better at that. But it takes, a lot of manpower and energy to collect them.
To understand the invasive species, researchers study their anatomy in a lab.
And we are looking at early life history characteristics of them so we can understand the reproductive cycle. We're looking at determining how to age them.
We're looking to do their age through otoliths, which are just ear bones that all fish have. The things that we do with that is we can take those out, and it's like reading a tree ring, right? We can be able to tell the age of the fish by reading the tree rings or the rings on the otolith. We want to see the age structure and the community within the swamp eels.
We know that the swamp eels are here in Florida, and we know that they are moving up through our freshwater bodies from the Everglades. But there is still so much that we don't know.
Well, we don't necessarily want to have non-native species. We don't know the potential impacts they will have on aquatic systems in Florida. So that's one of the things we want to look at. At least by association, it's been demonstrated in the Everglades that we've seen concurrent declines in the prey fish and crayfish populations as albus populations have increased, and they are really quite abundant in that area of the Everglades. So there's a lot of unknowns on that. The Winter Park chain of lakes drains into the St. Johns River system, so it is connected hydrologically. So it's conceivable that they could get into this rather large resource of Florida. And one, we'd rather not have them there and find out what the potential consequences would be. Winter Park chain of lakes does provide us a microcosm to look at general condition overall.
By doing these surveys of the Asian swamp eels, it can really help us figure out the extent of their spread and how far north they can go, because we're not entirely sure how cold tolerant they are, but they appear to be pretty hardy. So it could be a really big issue if they spread too far. Studying how they get to different lakes and water bodies is really important and start to control their spread.
Searching for swamp eels is more than just a job.
I definitely care because invasive species is a big deal in Florida. For also because I grew up here. These are the lakes that I worked on and have lived and used my whole life. So it's a big deal for me.
The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers prioritizes invasive species management as they affect ecosystems, flood control, hydropower, and even national security.